The 2025 federal election has now come and gone, and now this election was record-breaking for a lot of reasons. One of the big ones being that they found there were more Gen Z and millennial voters registered than there were baby boomer voters, meaning that the younger generation finally outnumbered the older generation when looking at voter demographics. Because of this, I took to the streets to speak to some younger voters to see how they think the major parties went addressing the issues that were concerning young people this election, as well as just to see how they think the major parties went interacting with young people throughout their campaigns.
I think one of the things that's being overlooked is that it takes a long time to actually enact any change in government, and I feel like the terms get in the way of that quite often. And the things like I always say, the displacement from AI and stuff like this, I feel like those need to be touched on more, and I feel like they're not being touched on.
Of the stuff that I came across, not much was shown that I really think related to very much. I think I saw more of the irrelevant parts of the campaigns, if that makes sense.
I guess a little bit. I mean, there was a lot of talking about all of, university fees and that sort of thing. So I felt like there was talk around that sort of area. I didn't hear too much else though, if I'm honest.
I'm not hugely political, so the only thing that I really did notice that the parties were talking about a lot was like housing and like lowering like the deposit you'd need or something like that. That was really the one thing I saw from like both parties. I couldn't tell you what both parties were trying to do, but I just know it was like really prevalent.
Yes, I did notice that, for example, the Labor Party made more of an effort to interact with the youth by creating TikToks that were relevant to the current media environment and like with different memes and current jokes, whereas the Liberal Party more focused on getting the attention of like the older generations.
Yeah, it just mostly went over my head. I mean, I think Australia has such a intricate relationship with our knowledge of government parties and their involvement with media outlets that we kind of have come to expect media manipulation, and we've kind of expected like, well, this is this one news outlet that supports these guys, and this is the one that's paid for by the other guys. So I think it's mostly gone over my head. I wouldn't be able to define like any specific one, but Australians are pretty aware of it.
Sadly, I don't watch the news because I find it really depressing to watch the news like in general as a whole. So to say which ones were talking to different news outlets, I would say probably they were. It's very fitting for people in politics to do that, the ones that agree with their policies more.
That just went over my radar. I mainly got all of it through Instagram Reels.
I think because they were all doing it, like I consistently saw like Labor and Liberal shit posting and doing lots of meme stuff against each other. You know, like the one with Peter Dutton, it's like why you shouldn't come to Australia, and it was like redback sharks, crocodiles, and then Peter Dutton's face all over it. I remember that one, but it didn't really impact what I thought of either of them.
I kept getting like lots of funny memes from like the Labor Party and stuff, and it would be like thirst traps of Medicare cards and that sort of thing. And that sort of swayed it a little bit. I don't know. It made it seem like they were a bit more in touch.
I definitely noticed a lot of them were on TikTok and definitely did a lot to try and get younger voters onto it.
No, I think that one of the most problematic things is like you can tell that you're being pandered to, and I know that maybe there's some people who feel that it's good, but having attended a lot of the events for both like Young Liberal and Young Labor, I don't think that there's any tremendous difference in like, I think young people want to be spoken to like adults, and I think that it's almost demeaning to have people communicate political beliefs through memes. It's like, it kind of dumbs down the point of trying to get a message across and infantilizes people, which I don't think that even like young people want.
I definitely saw some parties on TikTok, which was pretty interesting. So I'd say, yeah, it probably influenced it a little bit.
No, it didn't really impact my vote because I knew who I was voting for based on the values and policies that aligned with my views.